Okay, let's try this again. Hi guys, welcome back to the Lycan Project with Heather. Today this is the end of year book tag, which I found over on Books with Emily Fox title. So yeah, it's just talking about your reading plans for the end of the year and how you think your reading's going and such. So let me get into the questions. There are 6 questions, so let's start. The first question is, are there any books you've started this year that you need to finish? Oh boy. One of my beginning of the year goals was to try and only have like 1 or 2 books on the go at any one time. I have failed spectacularly. I have like 7 at the moment on my TBR. But physically owned and halfway through books is what I'll be focusing on in this video, which is The Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Amiyete. I started this in April, May, and then put it down. I was meant to pick it up in September for Monsterathon as one of the prompts, and I haven't. So I'll be trying to get to this. I made a decent dent, I'm like halfway through it, so it shouldn't be too bad. Basically, it's a West African inspired fantasy. It's YA. Magic has disappeared from the lands and now it is back, but the king wants to eradicate it again. So our main character saw her mother get murdered by the king's men because of magic. Their magic went away, she's come back, and she is trying to restore magic to all the land. So it isn't bad so far. I then also at the beginning of the year put in a top authors I want to try and get to this year, and one of them was Leigh Bardugo. I picked up this really nice copy of Six of Crows, which is the Kaz Brekker duology. Well, sorry, it's the Six of Crows duology that follows Kaz Brekker and Inej and Nina on their heist. I'm really enjoying it. It has got one of my favourite quotes of the year in it so far, which is, not all monsters do monstrous things. Or when people think you're a monster, you needn't do every monstrous thing. So it's also one of the most beautiful books I now own. I did pick up the second one in a recent haul, so I'll link that down below too. So enjoying that. So I'm about halfway through 2 on that. Apparently Jasper is who we're going to start reading from. The audiobook for this is really good as well. It's got a full cast, so each character gets their own voice actor, which is really good. So if you don't have access to the actual copy, like a copy of it, it is worth, if you can get hold of the audiobook as well, as trying that out. And then it was something I saw on Literarily Diverse, was the idea behind this book, which I really enjoyed the first one. I've also reread the first one this year, which is the Wayward Children series, which I am 2/3 of the way through Down on the Sticks and Bones, which follows Jack and Jill. Now this is sort of a prequel sequel situation where you follow Jack and Jill, who are 2 characters in the first one, which is The Wayward Children, Every Heart a Doorway, but they're in their world. Now, the part where Literary Diverse comes in is she did a series where it was books that she has read and had read to her by her wife. So my wife and I at the Bookworm Ivy I have kind of made the decision, and she is begrudgingly spoiling me, is that we're going to read these together. So she's going to read them to me. So it's I find a cute way of spending time. So I would also like to thank my beautiful wife for doing that. So we also do have Beneath the Sugar Sky and In an Absent Dream up on our bookcases somewhere. So far they're the books that I have started that I need to finish. The next question is, have you any autumnal reads to transition you to the end of the year?
So now
that I live in Australia, which is in the southern hemisphere, so I'm going to twist this question just slightly, and it's the sort of spring books to transition me, and not really. Like, I'm finding I'm more of a mood reader, but not a seasonal reader. So I'm not really, just gonna potter through, read what I want to read, see what happens. I am in October trying to read a bit more spooky books, sorry, because October is Halloween, regardless of where you are in the world. So not really. Is there any new releases you're still waiting on? No. The 2 new releases I was really excited for this year have come out. I had the audiobook for one, and the other one, well, sort of, because it hasn't been released in Australia yet, which is, I have Dark Dawn as an audiobook by J. Kristoff, which is the conclusion to the Nevernight Chronicles trilogy, which I just need to pick up. But, oh no, there is another one, sorry, I lie. It's the myth of the cathedral. It's the Cat Howard book, who wrote Unkindness of Magicians. I think it's the myth of the let me look it up. This is how excited I am about it. I think it's the Cathedral of Myth and Bone. I'm just going to look at the Cat Howard and see what comes up. The Cathedral of Myth and Bones. The Cathedral of Myth and Bones, which apparently came out in January 2019, but hasn't hit Australia. So I'm waiting on, and we'll put a picture up here, of a Cathedral of Myth and Bone, which is, it is an anthology. Didn't know it was an anthology. Science fiction, fantasy, mythology, anthology, which will be good. And Middle Game by Shawnee Maguire, which follows twins, I believe. So yeah, they're the 2 I'm waiting for. The next question is, what are the 3 books that you want to read before the end of the year? Ooh. 3 books I want to read by the end of the year. Dark Dawn, does that count? Yes, Dark Dawn, Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff, so I can just finish that trilogy off. Wilder Girls by Rory Power, which is a YA gender bent queer retelling of Lord of the Flies. So that's 2. Any satirized also do you want to read that in the year? Haha. And The Coming, which will be coming up, puns, so many puns, in November, because the book Olive Books, be checking all these names, I'm really sorry, does a non-fiction November where she encourages everyone to just read non-fiction. So this is one of my top reads for November. I also have a lot of Sasha or SD Wosley I really want to read, so we'll be getting to that hopefully as well. Okay. The next question is, are there any books that could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? Possibly Wilder Girls, possibly The Girl in Red by Christina Henry. No, I think that I've got books I've enjoyed, but they haven't been any like, wow, that's like my new favorite book? Yep. And the final question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2020? Yes. I don't know why. I've already decided on some of my reading goals for 2020. Like my Goodreads goal, one that I found quite enjoyable. It's actually a page goal, just because then it pushes me to try and pick up some of my chunkier books. So I'll have a page goal. I'm also going to, I've seen a lot of people do it, and they make like lists of books they want to read. Like, these are the top 10 books I want to read by the end of the year. So, or in this year I'm going to read these. So I think I might give that a try and a look. So yeah, so far I'm going to tag some people, or one person, which is my wife over at Bookworm Ivy, to do this tag. So go send her some love. And yeah, please like, subscribe, comment, and let's together build a pack to make the world a better place. And